Hey guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today in our reading, we read about David looking at his house of cedar, or considering his house of cedar, and feeling bad. He's like, why should I dwell in a house of cedar while the Lord dwells in a tent? And so he has a desire to build the Lord a temple. And it's interesting the way the Lord responds to David in this particular situation. In verse 5, it says, "Thus says Yahweh, are you the one who will build me a house to inhabit? For I have not inhabited a house since the day I brought up the sons of Israel from Egypt, even to this day. But I have been going about in a tent, even in a tabernacle. Wherever I have gone about with all the sons of Israel, did I speak a word with one of the tribes of Israel, which I commanded to shepherd my people Israel, saying, why have you not built me a house of cedar?" The Lord saying, I've been in a tent ever since you guys left Egypt. And all this time, no one's built me a house, and nor have I asked that I would have a house of cedar. In other words, the Lord's relaying the idea that he doesn't really need a house of cedar. Really, the tabernacle that was there was really there for the sake of man, not so much for God. God dwelt in, or does dwell in, the glory of heaven. And so even if one could build him the most immaculate temple, one of the 7 wonders of the world, still it would not compare to his glorious habitation in heaven. And so the Lord's not really concerned about whether he has a temple or whether he's in a tent. That seems to be what the Lord is conveying to David. And you even find later on, when Solomon does complete the temple, even then Yahweh says, heaven is my throne and earth is my footstool. What kind of house will you make for me? Even all of heaven and all of earth cannot contain me, much less this house. And so the Lord didn't really need a temple, but it's encouraging to know that he still appreciated that David wanted to build him a temple. As a matter of fact, he goes on to say, I'm going to build you a house, and a house that will endure forever. He was going to establish David's throne eternally. And of course, we know that ultimately happens through Jesus Christ. But the Lord very much appreciates that David does want to build him a temple, even though the Lord doesn't really need it. Much like a person who receives a gift, it's always hard to buy a gift for someone who has everything. If you ever tried to do that, it's very difficult. You're going through the store and everything you look at, you say, you know what, this person could easily purchase this for themselves, or they might already own it, whatever the case may be. It's always hard to give a gift to someone who owns so much. And of course, what can we offer to the Lord that would ever measure up? What can we give to the Lord that he doesn't already possess? And we might get discouraged by that and think, well, no matter how much I worship him, I can't worship him enough. No matter how much I sacrifice for him, the sacrifice won't be enough. And we could go on and really get discouraged thinking, my little prayers in the morning, or my little worship as I'm driving in my car, what does it measure up to the glory and the wonder and the majesty of God? But we got to remember that even though our worship may be small compared to the glory of God, still the Lord appreciates a heart that wants to honor him and wants to magnify him. The Lord values the heart more than he does a glorious temple or some magnificent act of devotion. The Lord really desires the heart, and that's what the Lord seems to appreciate here with David. Not so much that he's going to get a temple, but that he has David's heart. And that's what we want to give the Lord today, our heart. That's the most valuable thing we can give him, and that's what he desires. So today, let's be intent on offering up to the Lord prayers and worship and all those things. But more importantly, let's give the Lord our heart by being devoted to him, by having our eyes fixed on him, our heart centered on him, and that will give him something that he truly desires. So here's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.